As an artist, one of the most compelling aspects about My Hero Academia is the characters' costume designs. Not only do they visually look good, the designs are catered to aid the wearer, allowing the user to have benefits and ultimately be better at their goals when wearing their costume. While watching My Hero, you can notice the characters who use their costume to benefit their abilities tend to stand out with their feats and truly go beyond. A character who is prone to utilizing anything he can to achieve his goals is Deku. Throughout the series, his costume changes the most compared to others, and he's someone who needs to adapt to his continuing understanding of his abilities. Starting from the beginning, we have Deku's very first costume, his Alpha costume. His outfit is the only one that does not give him a competitive advantage when using his abilities. The only protection the suit gives Deku is his knee and elbow pads. Being the first design by him, he designed it without a quirk in mind, and so it's all just about appearance. Deku's original inspiration for this suit was from his admiration of All Might. His bunny ears represent the 2 strands of hair on All Might's head, and the mask is to represent All Might's smile. The costume is also not professionally made by a company like the others in 1A, and instead was bought by Izuku's mother, taking Deku's drawing and bringing it to life. Aww. His outfit design is one of the only to have a price tag given to us, as well as knowing where it was gotten. His jumpsuit is $87.39 and is an ordinary jumpsuit from a sporting goods store. The mask is $34 and is a mask used in airsoft games and the like from a military surplus shop. The elbow and knee pads cost $78.51 for a pair of each from a sporting goods store. His gloves cost $17.76 from a home improvement store. His belt cost $25.96 from a military shop, and his hood costs $32.11. The hood is a combination of a ski mask with homemade horns attached, the materials being bought from a home improvement store. The total cost comes out to being $276.06. What an amazing mother. Deku's Alpha suit is destroyed by Bakugo during their first field assignment, and so for a bit he wears his UA suit, being just a UA gym uniform with his mask, gloves, and elbow and knee pads. So nothing much to say there. It's essentially just his Alpha suit, but more exposed. Deku's Beta suit is where things start to get more interesting. For starters, Deku's Beta suit is now officially manufactured by a hero company, giving him a more detailed and durable fabric. The suit, while an upgrade, still has the original design by him and his mother. Deku states that he didn't want the changes that were made, but regardless, it was for the best. The suit comes with shoulder pads to most likely protect the area and more padding and compression located at his lower legs to aid with any damage that is received there. His mask is now more detailed with a much more metal-like appearance, most likely giving it more durability. The suit is given a darker color palette that looks more visually appealing. After receiving life-threatening damage to his arms, Deku knew he needed to change his outfit to help aid him in protecting his body while being a hero. Deku's new Gamma suit replaces his standard elbow pads and instead comes equipped with new longer compression padded gloves that help aid his muscles, ligaments, and bones from receiving any damage. His leg compressors seem to have more structure, and the newest addition is the inclusion of having iron soles attached to his shoes to help with receiving and releasing damage by his legs and feet. The suit's main design was captured to be more suitable with Deku's newest fighting style, shoot style, where he focuses more on using his legs rather than just his arm. Deku's Delta suit isn't an extreme change, but rather a nice addition to his arsenal. Deku acquires new gloves from Mei Hatsume to help him with his Delaware Smash Air Force ability, where whenever Izuku flicks his fingers to create a wind blast, the glove's outside layer across his wrist jolts forward to funnel Izuku's air blast to a certain point. The sights on his knuckles serve the same function if Deku chooses to fire off smaller blasts. He can fire up to 4 consecutive shots at once without any repercussions. He would later be able to shoot Black Whip from these sights as well. The Delta suit has a variant as seen in World Heroes Mission movie, most likely called World Hero Association suit. The suit, while having different designed elements, seems to be just used as a stealthy and dark version for stealth missions. An interesting difference is his hood isn't able to completely cover his face, and instead acts like a usual hoodie, unlike his other suit designs. The Epsilon suit is very dirty and torn. It includes his mentor Gran Torino's yellow cape, as well as having new red arm bracers that are a callback to the first MHA movie, Two Heroes, where Melissa's shield made him gear called Full Gauntlet. These new ones are much longer and called mid gauntlets. The mid gauntlets grant Izuku extra support and protection on his arms, filling the role of his former arm bracers. Unlike his bracers, however, they are strong enough to where Izuku can use his arms in combat safely at much higher percentages. In addition, they also provide extra reinforcement on his whole body. According to Toshinori, the gauntlets are prototypes and will shatter if Izuku were to draw 100% out of One for All while using them. Izuku also has 2 gauntlets strapped to his legs. There were also only 4 of these prototypes produced, with Izuku owning all of them. Deku also wears his Beta suit gloves, overall giving this design a mix of both old and new. While on this suit, Izuku tends to wear his hood more, giving a much more sinister look to it. Before Deku gets his suit for the final battle, he dons another UA gym suit which is essentially just like the very first one back in season 1, after Bakugo destroyed his alpha suit. I guess you could call it UA Gym Suit version 2. It includes a UA High Gym Suit, Gran Torino's cape, his old elbow and knee pads from his alpha and beta suits, his iron soles from his gamma suit, his Air Force gloves from his delta suit, as well as a new replica of his mid gauntlets from Mei Hatsume from his Epsilon suit. During the final war, Deku dons his Zeta suit. His suit has a slightly different color palette. His black lines are now instead gold, and his knee pad is the same color as the main suit color. Deku still wears Gran Torino's cape, as well as having his new version of his Air Force gloves, with his replica of mid gauntlets made from Mei Hatsume. He also still wears his iron soles from his Gamma outfit as well. Deku has a new end to his mid gauntlets looking similar to the ends of his Gamma suit and Delta suit gloves. The material seems to be tougher and has a gold line instead of the usual blue. The suit's main color was slightly altered in the anime, as in the manga it appears to be a darker green rather than the usual shade. I don't know, I kinda like the usual color instead of the darker. What about you? After the final battle, we see Deku wear a new suit that we don't know much of, most likely called the Eta suit. We can assume that the color palette is similar to that of his Zeta suit. Until there's either an anime adaptation of it or we get an official coloring from Hori, everything seems visually the same like his Zeta suit, but his gloves and gauntlet are entirely different. The gloves seem to have the sights from his Air Force gloves, and the gloves themselves look clunky on top, so perhaps it's a much more condensed version of his Air Force gloves. His new arm gauntlets seem to look more flexible and perhaps are a more organic-like creation. Lastly, an interesting exclusion is his iron soles. Kinda makes me sad. We finally come to Izuku's final suit. With Deku now quirkless, he was gifted a new mechanical suit like All Might had from the war. The suit was funded by his friends led by Bakugo. With the suit being more advanced than All Might's from the past, you can assume Deku's new Iron Deku suit or Theta suit is a powerhouse to behold. After all, Iron Might was able to cause heavy damage to All for One. In terms of the color palette, I'm not too sure, but I like the idea of him continuing the color palette of black and gold, honoring Nanashimura and Iron Might. Regardless, I'm sure it'll look glorious. And yeah, I've been a big fan of Deku's outfit since the beginning. I personally like the alpha costume. I'm not a hater. Since day one, I've loved it. And as time went on, it kept evolving and it just looks amazing. I cannot wait to see more of Iron Deku, and as well as the, I guessed, Eta suit that we still have only seen like, what, 2 or 3 shots in the manga. So I'm excited to see what the future holds. Have a good one, y'all.